Hi everyone, welcome to this special episode of Mother's Day. Today we are going to talk about something like every working woman face, the struggle to balance between work, home, careers, dream and of course motherhood. To talk about this, we have a truly inspiring guest, Mrs. Revati, founder of Bicecart, a brand that's all about healthy millet-based food. She is a mother, an entrepreneur and someone who has figured her way out to balance it all. Let's welcome Mrs. Revati. Hi Revati, welcome and happy Mother's Day to you.
Hi.
You wear a lot of hats, like a mother, entrepreneur, and everything in between. So please tell me, like, how did you take a leap of starting up a Bites cart, being a mother? So what were the challenges that you are facing, when you started the Bites cart as a mother?
Okay. Hi, Farida. First of all, I should thank you for calling me for this
My
podcast.
honor.
Yeah. So it's a long journey. It just happened. It wasn't planned, but it just happened. So I was working in a software company as a software engineer for 8 plus years. And then in around 2017 November, my son was born. And after him, I wasn't able to continue my IT job. When he turned around 1.5 years, he developed some difficulties in development. So particularly, doctors were suggesting that he's supposed to eat only healthy food items like preservatives free, colors free, any artificial ingredients free foods only has to be given to him. So that was the condition for him. So back then, 6 years back, now at least we have a quite a lot of brands who focus on clean ingredients, who give good quality products. But back then, 6 years back, it was very difficult for me to find healthy products, especially snacks. 1.5 years is a time when kids exactly start munching, right? Some kind of cookies or chocolates. They want to munch something. So that's the stage I felt very difficult, and I found a gap. So that's how it started. But I didn't start Bitescard at first. I owned a franchise of a company first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you said you had a baby of 1.5 years old, how did you manage to start your own brand? Because first initially you had a franchisee. So,
Yeah.
what made you feel like from franchisee you should have your own brand?
It was an idea from a friend.
Okay.
So this franchise thing was running very successful for me. In 6 months, I was able to do a very good sales. And that it was a very small store, 10 by 10 store. I was able to do a pretty quite sale there. One of my friend from a forum suggested that why don't we create a brand so that instead of focusing on one product or one brand, we'll have multiple brands. Say for example, that time we had Money Mark, we had Havens, we had multiple other brands. These brands, they were focusing on healthy traditional food items. So we were working with this peanut chikkis, we were working with makanas, flavored makanas, we were working with varieties of cashews. These are all from different brands. So he suggested that we'll open a brand called Bitescart. Bitescart will be a place where people can buy multiple brand items which are all focused on the health basis. So which will have clear ingredients, which will not have any preservatives, artificial. So I thought that idea will work good, and then we went with starting the store Bitescart in Adyar.
Okay. So, how big is a Bites cart right now, and how different is a Bites cart from the other brands?
So Bitescart journey started with COVID actually.
Okay.
So my first store was a small investment. It was just 100 square feet store, and it was a small investment, and everything was well planned. But this Bitescart, we initially started off. We thought of starting it as an online platform where we'll sell products. We'll buy products from multiple vendors and sell it through our website. Like Amazon, this will be an place where people can buy healthy snacks, healthy food items. That is the idea when we started. But gradually, when we started developing the website, we thought we should have a physical store also. Then we invested a whole lot of money on the store. Just in 1.5 months from launching the store, COVID hit. So that was very tough for us.
But I mean, I think you're doing great, right? You survived the COVID in the initial stages, which means that the brand and the product is really good. That's how you can survive, on a long run. Especially during the COVID,
Yeah.
many big brands faced the crunch.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, you did very well.
Back then we didn't do very well, but somehow we managed to cross that phase. But yeah, we went through so much of struggles actually. So we made a huge investment around 20 25 lakhs. It was huge for me. 20 25 lakhs investment on a single store, a website development, everything was there. But still, since COVID hit, everything was uncertain. We didn't know that when they are going to revoke it or what is going to happen next. What are the it was very strange for us. From one store it became two stores, and the investment also went higher, and the monthly maintenance was also very high. Before it was only one staff, and now we had four staff in the new store alone, so we have to pay salary for around five people, rent of two shops, and everything was very very difficult, and we weren't planned for this at all. So it was very difficult for us. And after a period of around 6 7 months, the partner also stepped back. He said he can't invest further because the things are very uncertain, and they suggested that we'll close the store and we'll do only online. But that time it was very difficult for me to give up 25 30 lakhs of investment just like that. Of course, I did, but after a long time, after trying so much. And after COVID was revoked and the lockdown was revoked, we tried so much bringing in customers. But because of so much of loss we faced during the COVID time, we weren't able to concentrate on the marketing. We weren't able to spend on marketing. So, because of which I had to close both the stores. So, around 3 years back, the same time, I was left with nothing. Both the store closed, even the partner, he went back, and I was in a situation like, what I'm doing. I lost a very good paying job, and in between my son's therapies and those things are all going on, so I have to concentrate on that as well, and at the same time I'm facing such a big thing.
Okay. So how did you cope up? Like, what made you going?
Yeah, okay. It's my husband.
Okay.
Only because of his emotional support, I was able to do it. See, I was at the stage I was thinking like, okay, business is not happening for me. This is not my piece of cake. I think I should go back to my IT job, which was paying me very well. And financially also we were doing very good that time when I was in IT. So I thought I should go back. When I went to my husband and I said, see, this is not happening to me. I think I should go back. He said, see, I have a lot of confidence that you can do very well in business. Why don't you believe in yourself? This was the one thing he said. And I thought, okay, let me try it again. He was the only person to support me in my family. Everybody else was saying that you have completely ruined your career, because it being a 3 years of break. Again, getting back into IT is not so easy, because 3 years break is pretty long for someone to get back to IT job. So that time, only my husband, he stood behind. Even now, he always stands strong beside me, be it emotional, mental. Even in my son's journey, I used to break down many times, because he faces a lot of challenges, even in the schoolings, therapies, treatments. So I used to break down a lot of times. But every time, this man stays strong, gives me all the support I need.
Okay. So you mean to say every mother should have a supportive father?
Definitely, definitely. As generally people say, a strong man represents a strong woman behind. I believe a strong women also need a
Represent.
strong man to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were about to give up, you said like your husband supported a lot.
Yeah.
So but even then, like you must be facing some struggles in the business, like where you felt like I have to like focus on this particular thing, juggling the motherhood and the work, business especially. That is something that doesn't come that handy to everyone. So
Exactly.
what is your tips to like for all the mothers out there who are struggling with that difficulty, or who wants to like conquer, and who are just starting in the starting stage? So what are your guidance for them?
Okay. See, everybody might not be blessed with a supportive husband or a supportive family. But what one thing we can do is, maybe we can prioritize the timings, like we can properly manage the times. I properly manage my time. So my business hours would be typically when the time he is in school, 9 to 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I manage everything in between this time. So, along with him from school, I pick up him from school and I go back home. And I take calls and all, I take it at home. But still, my business presence would be 100% between this time when he is in school. So when we manage the time and we prioritize family also, and obviously people in the family also understand that we are not leaving behind family, we are not leaving behind any of our responsibilities. So when we give equal importance to both, I think people in the family will also support us. Of course, the supportive family is also required.
Okay. So you took a break, right? You said your partner backed off. So tell me about that journey. How did you again made a comeback?
Okay. So I closed both my stores after COVID, and then I was just trying to figure out things. That time I was part of a business forum. One friend, he walked to me and he said, "I have an order for you. It's a order of 3,000 laddu boxes."
Okay.
I said, I don't even have a place. I don't even have my staffs. Around 5-6 staffs I had, and everybody, like, I have to send them back because I have to close the stores. So I don't have anything to do now. But he was very confident and he said, no, you can do this order, he said. Then I took a help from other friend and I took his place. It was not operating. It is a manufacturing unit, but it was not in operation. So he said, my space is vacant. If you want, you can use, he said. Then I went there. I called back my staffs for just 2-3 days, executed that order of 3,000 boxes of dry fruits laddu, and I made that order a success. After that, I got a confidence that okay, store is not working for me, maybe manufacturing would work for me, because the investment would be less initially. I don't need a store, I don't need many staffs, maybe 1 or 2 initially. Then I can, if the orders are increasing, I can gradually increase. And since that was my friend store place, I didn't have to invest on the place also initially. Later I started paying him rent and all, but initially just people who helped me get back to my business. Then I started manufacturing this dry fruits laddu, millet based laddus, millet based cookies. Slowly I entered from retail, I entered into manufacturing.
So being a mother influenced you more to be, healthy, get into the healthy food domain.
Exactly. So as I told you, he had some developmental issues and all. A doctor strongly suggested to give him only healthy foods. So then I thought many mothers like me would have the same problem of not getting healthy food items for their kids. So I thought, okay, let me go with this healthy items only. But many people have asked me, how are you going to survive only with these products? Because commercial world is not like that. Business is not like that. You can't do business with this just healthy products, they said. But I stood strong that I'm not going to give anything which I'm not going to feed my son to the world. Only the things which I'm going to feed my son are going to be my products.
One thing, there must be a lot of competition, that you will be facing with the other brands, right? So how do you face that? Because competition is something in the business which is very, uncertain. Today you might feel your brand is on top, and next day, you see the charts are just, little down.
Yeah.
So how do you think, as a working mother, how do you keep up to that expectation, and how do you always try to go on a higher scale?
Okay. One thing is product quality. So what happens is, once initially if you want to make a 500 boxes of laddu, the quality of the ingredients will be different. Immediately if you get a 5,000 or 50,000 boxes of order, what brands generally do is just to cut down the cost, they lose the quality. But it not be for everybody, but just generally I'm telling. So I stick to the point that from the beginning, I use the same quality of the ghee. I use the same quality of grains. We buy whole grains. We process it. We don't buy flours. We buy whole grains. Only then we can judge the quality of the grains. You can't judge the quality of the flour. So we were very particular about our quality. And the second thing is how we deal with our customers. That actually matters a lot. Yeah, these are the two things I think. Customer satisfaction and the quality are the key roles. I feel it's the important thing to keep up the competition.
And as a working mother, how do you manage your stress? That is something comes very handy, right?
Yeah.
When you work and you're a mother, stress comes very naturally.
Yeah.
So how do you manage your stress?
Stress, yeah, because many a times people make you feel guilty that you are not a good mother. They make you feel at often, yeah, often sometimes you yourself believe that you are not a good mother, you're not doing justice to your, family or your son. But all these times, I love to dance. I love to do some arts and crafts. So I divert myself into some of these things. So only when I draw some good art and I see that, I feel really proud. Simple things like that, yeah, music and other things get me out of that. And of course, my always cushion my husband. And I just go, and yeah, the only person whom you can open up completely, right? Yeah, I go to him, and he is the one place I need for all my kids.
Revati, like, what are the myths that you would like to break about the millets?
Okay. So what people generally think is millets are not tasty. So when you give people some millet products, they think even once we went for an event in which we wanted to give samples to people and we want to see their feedback. Once we gave there and started giving samples, people started questioning that, can I have this? Will I have digestion issues? My wife is pregnant. Can she have this? Elder people can ask this. If you are going to a modern restaurant and having any junk, do we ask any questions? No, right? We feed our kids with pizzas, burgers, which are all not at all healthy. It doesn't have even a healthy, just a single healthy
The white
ingredient.
bread in it.
Anything, just not healthy at all. And it is not our tradition also. It has come from some other country, and we don't even easily digest those kind of foods. But people are ready to accept it, and people are ready to spend on it,
True.
right? But if you bring in a traditional product which we have been eating for thousands of years, people ask you hundreds of questions, as if we are giving something which is not, which is going to ruin your health in a single day. They exaggerate it like that. Can I have this? Is it good? Is it tasty? But when you give some junk which is full of colors, which is full of preservatives, which is full of sugar, people enjoy it. Why? Just because of marketing. Right? Even millet based products are also tasty, are also healthy, nutritious. It's just not filling, it's just not sugar. It has so much of nutritional benefits for our body. But the thing is, it is not marketed right. We have not educated by our parents or our grandparents on the importance of our traditional food. That is the thing I think it's missing in our community. We should at least educate our children on the importance of our traditional food. Not millets, be it anything.
I think as a new mother, when you deliver and want to get back to the shape, we struggle a lot with workouts and everything. I think getting back to the millet ritual, right, will help you cut the carbs and will not drain your energy out. So usually when you drain, people complain that I'm feeling tired.
Yeah.
Right, by the after post lunch, anyone who diet, right, you can just ask them, they feel like, no, I'm eating so exhausted and dieting. I think millets will give you a lot of energy to sustain the whole day,
Exactly.
is what I personally
Exactly.
feel.
If, as you said, if they want to cut down weight, they'll only jump into oats, quinoa,
Exactly.
and all these modern things, which comes at a very, very high cost. But these millets, you get it at a kg of 40 rupees, 50 rupees, or max. If you go for some millets like foxtail and all, you get it at a kg of just 100 rupees. But people, which is 100 times nutritious and rich in fiber, as you said, it will give you a very consistent energy. People will not go behind this because of the marketing, because these products like oats and quinoa are marketed well,
exactly.
but these products are not marketed well.
I think I remember when I had issue with lactating, my gyne suggested me, ragi.
Yeah.
So she said, have ragi in any form, but in a day, don't miss that out.
Yeah.
And I definitely found, the result. So I think, the small, we feel like, it's very, the less expensive, products are the most, helpful in your long run, which we
Exactly.
forget to use it in everyday thing. Right? We go to a hotel, you see in, meals, you don't have any, millet kind of, not even in a dessert, or even the sweet, what they use is like white sugar.
Yeah.
even though it's not that great for your health, like we go for that white sugar.
Yeah.
I think it can start from the restaurant where the fast food tradition has come out, where they can add at least one small portion of that multi-grain product in the meal, and that would make a small difference.
Definitely,
Maybe.
definitely. As you said, after mother's milk, the milk which we can give to our kids is ragi milk. It's so much nutritious. People say cow's milk is full of calcium, but ragi milk has 10 times more calcium, 10 times more nutrition than cow milk.
True.
But we are not educated on that. We are not, the awareness is lagging. So I feel like many brands are coming up now. Many more brands has to come on healthy products. They are never a competition. I don't see any other healthy brand product as a competition at all, because when the market is loaded with thousands and lakhs of brands which sell all these junk items, to replace them, definitely we need not just Bites Card, but hundreds of other brands who are on the mission to bring in our traditional healthy snacking habits. So many people has to create this awareness among the people, and of course people are slowly started accepting millets. They understand the importance of it, and yeah, gradually it is growing, but it has to grow.
I think in Indian culture, in Indian household, initially those days when my grandma was there, I think millet was part of everyday thing. Like the ragi thing which we used to have for lunch. She used to make that. So now I think even in an Indian culture, like that is like kind of disappearing is what I personally feel. So I think it's good if the brands like yours, like make it very easy to prepare. No, we all will be making it a part of our daily routine in the food.
Definitely, yeah. So it's after the green revolution. It's after the green revolution we started consuming more of rice and wheat. Before that, it was only millets. We were having rice, idli, dosa, or even in any kind of pongals, kheer, everything, porridges, everything was made of millets only. But when we saw this, like pizza and burger, now it was white rice and wheat. Then it was so fancy, it was tastier, it was easier to make, and people got into it. So after the green revolution, people started forgetting. But now after COVID and all, people understand the importance of health. So now it is slowly coming up, but
Yeah, I
still
think
the
the vegan
awareness.
trend and everything is making it come back.
Yeah.
But yet, I feel there's a difficulty in giving it to the children.
Yeah.
When they see a pizza and burger, I don't think they'll be interested in like, multigrain based pizza. So give us some tips where like, how we can present it to our children and how can we make them, eat it with little of ease.
Okay. The only thing is the children's don't first eat it by mouth. They eat it by their eyes. In the sense it has to be appealing to them. First they have to feel appealing to them, the presentation. Then only they'll start eating it. So what we tried is we have wrapped our laddus in golden color foil. It looks like a Ferrero Rocher chocolate to them. So kids just pick it up thinking that it is a chocolate. Then when they open it, they get upset. Of course, it is not a chocolate, right? It is a millet laddu. But still, when we try to convince them after picking it up, they'll take a bite. Once they take a bite and they realize the taste is also good, and then they consume it. So first thing is presentation is very, very important to the kids. That is why these brands, they are investing tons and tons of money on advertisements, colorful ingredients, making it in different shapes. So at homes also we can making idli and cutting it into different shapes, or adding some cocoa powder to it. Say if you give ragi milk just like that, they will not consume. Extract ragi milk and add some cocoa powder and jaggery powder, that will give a chocolatey taste. Then they'll start consuming it. It was difficult for me also with my son, but now my son, he can eat every millets. Gradually when you start giving it, and again the thing is you shouldn't force only on the kids. The entire family
should have it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You eat pizza, burger and chips and you ask the kid to eat healthy, definitely that is not going to happen. We have to walk the talk. Only then kids will also start doing it. And it should be a ritual that at least once in a month we have to try in the beginning, then it should become once in a week. Immediately if you push on them every day in a week you have to eat millets, that is not going to work. You have to take it very gradually and in a friendly manner. It shouldn't be forced on the kids. Once they realize the taste and they start liking it, gradually you have to add on. So if you force it, they're not going to take it.
Okay. So you tell me one proud moment that happened as an entrepreneur, that made you feel like, wow, like I balanced it all. So
Okay.
there must be some moment like that,
Okay.
right? Please
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah, it happened recently. My son's school director, he came home. So he was visiting all the kids' home and he came home. And that's the first time I'm meeting him. He is around, he must be around 60 plus. A nice, gentle person running multiple schools and a very humble person. When he came home, we presented all our laddus and he was very happy with the improvement of my son as well. He was very happy with the improvement of my son. So when he came home, he tasted our products, he saw our home and how we treat us and everything he saw, and he said, "Your son's development is so good than the any other kids in the school." I was wondering what is the reason for it. And he said it is because of two reasons. One, a strong mother. No, see, simply if your son has a problem or your family has a problem, by just sitting and mourning, nothing is not going to happen. Only when you accept it and take the necessary actions, that is going to change, right? So I always stay strong and I take the necessary things required for my son. So he said, a strong mother, I see a strong mother, bringing up a very strong son. And the second thing is, you are gaining a lot of blessing, he said. I didn't understand. What, by how, sir? I just asked by how. By giving these kind of healthy products to the entire world, you are gaining a lot of blessings for your son, he said. So that is the moment. Even now, I feel that goosebumps. So I felt like I won as a mother as well as a businesswoman. That is the moment which gave me a lot of pride.
So glad to hear that. So what's your next plan in Bites Card? Any new collaboration expansions that you're planning for in future?
Okay. Yeah, we have a strong product line. We have millet-based cookies, millet-based laddus, and millet rice puff chickies, and we have multiple products. Now our product line is very strong. Now we are looking for investments so that we can get into this quick commerce. So speak Instamart, Blinkit, Zepto. So if we are able to get into these kind of quick commerce platform, I think our products can reach many more households. So now we got a very good response for all our products. The thing is, now we have to market and get to the next level. So we are looking in for some investments. We are at this stage.
So Revati, imagine you have unlimited resources, okay? So what is that dream that you want to achieve?
So this healthy product which got developed just in a small house in Chennai should reach global.
Okay.
So whenever I see a foreign product which doesn't have any nutritional value but being placed everywhere you go, even in starting from a small petty shop to large supermarkets, even in airports, you could see this product. Why not a traditional healthy product from India could reach
True.
this global market? Everywhere, all around the world, all around the stores, thousands of stores, not thousands of stores, lakhs of stores, reaching thousands and thousands of people. This is not going to harm them, this is going to just nourish them.
So I wish you all the best, because like your dream is something which is going to benefit a lot of people out there who want to look for a healthy eating. So wish you very good luck.
Thank you.
So what does Mother's Day mean to you personally, Revati?
Okay. Before my son, it was not a good day for me.
Okay.
Okay. The thing is, my mother left me when I was around 4 years old. So after then, my childhood was was not that great without my mother. So whenever the Mother's Day comes, I feel like I don't have my mother. So that's the feeling I get. And Yeah, maybe because of that I grew up very strong along with my father. But after Tanvish, it was very clear that I shouldn't be like my mother. Many girls have their mother as their inspiration, right? Yeah, I also have my mother as an inspiration, but not to be like her. Yeah, so I wanted to. Yes, I am a very career oriented person, but at the same time, I don't want to, leave behind any of my mother responsibilities. I mean, my motherly responsibilities. So I always make sure that things are all happening for my son first, then comes my business. Yeah, Mother's Day, not for my mother, but for my Chiti, who took care of me, and my mother-in-law. Now she's more like my mother. She takes care of me. She takes care of my son. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you have to describe yourself in one word as a mother, what would that be?
One word. I would say every mother is a super mother.
Yeah.
Every mother is a super mother. Even I would describe me as a super mother, handling my son as well as my business. So I think every woman should never give up on their career as well. Being a mother is not a disability, right?
Sure.
It's a, I would say it's a power.
blessing. Yeah.
It's a power. It's a blessing. It's a blessing for every woman. So we shouldn't be treating as a disability and sit at home. Take that power and come out and shine, so that our kids also will shine along with us.
Sure. Lovely message, though. What does your typical day look like as a CEO and as a mother? How do you, tell me your routine, general routine. Like, how
Okay.
how do you work it around?
It would be a super busy day as usual. So of course, like any other mother, I start with all the course. I get my son to school around 9 o'clock. From 9 o'clock, I'll be a CEO till 4 o'clock, and then again a mother. So it will be super busy from morning 5:30 to 10:30. But I don't feel tired because I'm doing what I'm loving. Be it with my son or be it with my business, I'm doing what I'm loving. So I don't feel tired. So my son and my business gives me a lot of energy to run all through the day.
Okay. So, are you planning to introduce anything called like mother's favorite snacks or something like in your for your brand in future?
Definitely, because see, we take a lot of care of our kids, but most of the times we women don't care for ourselves. After 30s, we need a lot of calcium. So we are planning for a snack, particularly which is rich in calcium and rich in protein, so that it is good for all the mothers
Okay.
to improve their bone strength, to improve their energy. Most of them feel, no, they are losing the energy as the day progress, right? So they'll have a sustained energy throughout the day. We are planning for such a product with ragi, so that it can give them calcium, protein, and everything they require for the motherly run.
Okay. So Revati, thank you so much for joining us and your journey as a mother and CEO. I'm sure it'll be very inspiring and encouraging to a lot of mothers out there. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Farida. The thing which you are doing is really great. So motivating people is a very important thing. Only then people will come out of the shell. So you're doing such a wonderful job.
Thank you, Revati.